Evening, everyone. Good evening. It's this wonderful Thursday evening. This is Pastor Dixon here. I don't have my red scarf on right now. I should have my red scarf on, but that's all right. Most of you all know who I am. 8:30. It's time to get this live feed started. I hope everybody's had a wonderful day. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get on here a little bit, jump on, give some more people a chance to jump on. Before we start talking about some of the issues, well, not really the issues tonight, we'll talk about, the vision. How did we get to this point? How did I get to this point? I think that's what's really vital for the people to know about is there are many people who don't know much about me. Other than what they've seen as I've worked in the community, television, which a lot of people say all it is a glory hound. And the reality is, I wish I never had to do a television interview because people stopped getting killed or people started getting paid right, or there was accessible housing for everybody, or our kids was getting educated. If these things was happening, I wouldn't need to be on TV, and I wouldn't need to be running for this position as mayor of North Charleston if those things were happening. But unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, and when I say brothers and sisters, I'm not just talking about black folks, because we all cut and bleed the same color. Unfortunately, those same things are the things that are not fixed right now. Why somebody who you know, who you trust, who you've seen working on your behalf, is not only running for mayor of North Charleston, but is actually going to win this election with your help. Okay, we got a little bit less than 7 weeks left. The election is on November the 5th. Now, for registration, every time I start out, I'm going to talk about this now, and I'm going to try to be brief with it. For registration, you must be registered by October the 4th in order to vote in this election. By October the 4th, which is only, about 8 days away or something like that. So you got to let them folks that ain't registered know. Go get registered. How can you check? Get to a computer and Google that thing up. scvotes.org. scvotes.org. Click on registration. You can find out whether you're registered, if your registration is still active, or if you need to register. As long as you have a valid South Carolina driver's license or an ID card, you can register right there. And just keep in mind, even people who have a criminal background, who have been to prison in South Carolina, it's not like that for all of the states, but in South Carolina, that's one plus we do have. If you have completed all of your sentencing, if you are no longer up under the court system, through with probation and parole, off paper as they say, you can register to vote and vote in the election. If you have people that are sitting in county jail that haven't been convicted yet, they just can't bond out. If they haven't been convicted, they're eligible to vote. But there's a process. They have to send off for the registry, for the application and everything. So please, let those know, let everybody know it's time now for us to take control of our community. And when I say our community, I don't just mean the black community. I mean the entire community. Until everybody rises, nobody rises. But the way that we do it is through the vote. See a lot of folks jumping on. Good to see you all. I really appreciate everybody, each and every one of you. And that's for sure. We must vote. We have less than 2 weeks to get registered, and less than 7 weeks now before the election. Absentee voting. We don't have early voting in South Carolina. We have absentee voting. If you go to that same place, scvotes.org, it will show you how many categories you can fit in order to absentee vote. There's 16 separate categories. Most folks will be able to slot in there somewhere, especially everybody that's over the age of 65. You automatically qualify for absentee voting. You don't have to explain nothing other than the fact that, like me, I'm old. Go vote, please. Don't let this election pass us by without us making every effort that we can to participate in the voting cycle. Not 2020, and I know that's all we hear about. 2019, November 5th, it's time to elect a new mayor for this great city of North Charleston, and that new mayor needs to be Pastor Thomas Dixon. Let that be known. Somebody that you've seen, that you trust, somebody that you know will work on your behalf and represent your voice. Not the voice of the council, not the mayor's voice, not the voice of special interest, but the voice of the people. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. Good to see a lot of folks tonight. Yeah, a lot of folks checking in. Man, Mike all the way from Texas. Good to see you, brother. That's for sure. Shipmate. Yes, people, for those that don't know, I am a Navy veteran. Okay. It was some troubled times, but as I carried my addictions into the military, and they didn't leave me until after I left the military, but I did come out with an honorable discharge, and I loved my service, and I was a good sailor. Okay. My demons were my demons, but I still conducted my job in the military to excellent evaluations, always, but trouble. So let me try to get into this thing tonight as we talk. Pastor Bell, how you doing? I just wanted to just let folks know, for me, how I got here to this point, not to this place, but to this point. And there's a scripture. Now, I'm not preaching to nobody, okay? I'm not preaching to nobody. And I respect everybody's right to worship in their own way, or those who don't worship, who don't believe there's a God. That's your business. I'm not trying to make you me. That's one of the problems we got in this world right now. Everybody trying to make somebody else into who they are. You know, we need to let people be people. That's for sure. But in the book of Habakkuk, in the second chapter verse 3, it says that, and I quote, "The vision is set for an appointed time. In the end, it will speak and it will not lie." Now, to break that down a little bit, Habakkuk said the vision is set for an appointed time. That means that things are happen in a particular manner in time, especially when it comes to looking forward to events. When it comes to things in one's life actually coming to pass, to fruition. Those times are appointed. They won't happen ahead of time, and they won't happen too late. So for me, for over 30 years of my life, from age 15 years old, right up until 30 years later, I lived a crazy life. I was born and raised in the projects of Chicago. And project life when I was little was good, but it changed. It transitioned. And it changed from a good living to a life of the gangs, guns, drugs. The lifestyle in the project was, as for a male, you got old. As you got older, you drank liquor, you smoked weed, you cussed up. You ran women, you used dope, you sold dope. This was acceptable practices in growing up on the low end. And so coming into my, not even early teens, but as I was entering my early teens, I started going down those various roads. And it wound up on a 30-year downhill spiral, that actually led me all the way into prison. So from the age of about 14 years old, I started dealing with drugs. I've done every drug that you can think of, with the exception of IB drug use. I never shot any dope, okay? I always thought in my mind that, I wasn't a junkie if I didn't shoot dope. But I was smoking dope. It wasn't no difference. And I realized one day that I was hooked. I was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And that revelation is what led me to leave from Chicago, Illinois, where I grew up at. I joined the military, but I had a flawed thought process. I thought I could join the military, I could get benefits for my then mother of my child, my son, and that I could actually get away from the drugs that I was trying to flee from. Bad thought process there, because everywhere I went, even though I was in the military, the demons went right along with me. The faces are only things that changed. And I'm sharing this with you because I want everybody to understand that unless we have people at an office who represent the people, unless those people know the people and understand the people, they can't govern effectively. That's why Mayor Keith Summey can't govern black people or Latino people. He ain't never been on the ground with us. He ain't been through what we've been through. You can't read a book and learn this stuff. I understand alcoholism and drug addictions. I understand the necessity of the programs needed to break the cycle. I understand the prison aspect because I've been to prison. I understand these things because I've been there. It's been my life. And I understand what it takes to fix these problems also because this has been my life. It's that transparency that's going to give every one of you an opportunity to not only know that I'm the best candidate, but to share it with others. Hey, that brother there, you need to get behind him because he's been there. And he's proven after that for the last 18 years, coming out of the prison system in 2001, proven that not only is the life changed, but all of those learned experience that I've had prior to that life-changing event are the same things necessary in order to make the changes that we need today in North Charleston, in Charleston, and across the Low Country, and throughout America, to be honest with you. But that vision that was set for an appointed time, this never could have happened in 1987 when I was troubled and in the military. This couldn't happen when I was partying out on the streets in Chicago for 10 years of my life. This couldn't have happened after I exited the military and I was working for major corporations and handling finance and everything. This couldn't happen before now. This couldn't happen even as I came out of the prison system and started working with all the different organizations trying to better our community. It couldn't happen then. The vision was set for an appointed time, and in the end, it would speak and would not lie. This is that appointed time, folks. All of the things that I've been through in life, my resume, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is what has equipped me for this point in time to be able to take over that one seat this year, 2019, November 5th, inauguration in January, to take over that seat and turn around not only the city, but the lives of the many, many people who have been affected adversely by an administration that has forgotten about them because their lives didn't matter. And let me clarify that. Not that their lives didn't especially matter, but until you really understand another group, another subset, and you get people around you who will not tell you the truth about your actions, then you're going to believe what you're doing by them is the right thing. But we've seen what happened on the south end of North Charleston over the last 25 years, and life has not gotten better for the people there. So it's time to replace that. The vision is set for an appointed time. During those years, I had to work, especially post prison, coming out of prison in 2001. I had to work with organizations. Not that I went looking for them. Not that I did this in order to say one day I'm going to run for office. But there was something inside of me that said we need to change our system. We need to get back to working for the people. And so I started working for the people. And because of that, well, I just got back a little while ago, a couple of hours ago from Washington, D.C. I was there from Monday until today, with the Brady campaign. Well, formerly Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. Now it's just Brady, okay, or Brady United Against Gun Violence. Tagline, take action, not sides, because we ain't down with all of this bipartisanship and you on this side of the fence and I'm on. Listen, gun violence. Brady is a gun violence prevention organization. And what we believe in it's everyone's responsibility together to end this epidemic of gun violence. Take action, not sides. So please, when you got your Republican legislators who decide that they don't want to vote in favor of universal background checks or extreme risk protection orders or limiting high capacity magazines or banning the sale of military assault weapons, let them know. Take action, not sides, because people are dying out here on the streets. So I've been working along with Brady for years. As a matter of fact, I started in the aftermath of Mother Emanuel. And from that, I've gone to a point of being elected to their national board of directors. Okay, so even though in my own town, when I talked to this mayor's office and administration and the former police chiefs that were here, they all look at me like I ain't know nothing about guns. Some reason or other, Brady thinks I did. They elected me to their national board of directors. Little side note, whether you know it or not, I'm probably the only person that's been shot at in a non-military situation. Growing up in the projects, I've been around guns, for sure. And shot at. They missed. Thank God. The vision was set for an appointed time. They couldn't hit me because I had to get to this point, according to that divine appointment, okay? Yes, Brady campaign, Brady United. Moms demand action. I work along with them. Low Country, when it comes to the youth, the Low Country Students for Political Action was formerly the March for Our Lives Charleston group here. High schoolers, second year, third year, seniors, high schoolers. Those are the people I work along with down in on the low end, because we always have a tendency to try to separate mass gun shootings from hood shootings. Well, my job and my passion is trying to make sure that everybody understands that death by a gun is death by a gun, whether it's 20 killed at one time or whether it's a brother on the block that's killed at one time. So I work along also with Pastor Ravenel and Monica Jefferson and so many others with Parents Against Gun Violence out here in the streets, trying to end this plague of gun violence. Man, it's been just a rash of these things happening over the last. Well, I ain't even getting ready to go there because I can look back years on this whole thing. I just want to say to Paulette Manigo, my sincere condolences to you on the loss of your son last weekend. And although I couldn't make it to the candlelight vigil tonight, my apologies. I'm barely making it right now, to be honest with you, but I will be there tomorrow, 11 o'clock at the funeral. Okay, I will see you there, Paulette. My love, my heart to you, and I'm so sorry that you just became another member of a club that nobody wants to be a part of, and the price of admission is just too high. But I've worked along with all of these gun violence prevention groups, but not only them, the Charleston Area Justice Ministry. Yes, CAJM. When they hit the ground running right here, guess who they looked up? What up, Joe? Guess who they looked up? They looked up Pastor Dixon. So we had a conversation about what was going on right here in the Low Country. And I've been working along with them and supporting them ever since. There were times when I questioned the technique, but I also see the effectiveness of the technique. And one problem I have as far as with not CAJM, but those who have been invited to the table, when it comes to North Charleston City Hall, the mayor has never been invited. Has never been involved. He's never accepted the invitation. His council members, with the exception of Mike London, and I do believe that Virginia Jameson might have made one, but they don't come to the CAJM Nehemiah actions. When you're the servant of the people, when you're a public servant, the key word in that is public servant. You serve the public. As an elected servant of the people, you don't have the options to say, I'm not going to participate in public events. I'm going to withhold from that. As a matter of fact, this Saturday, and I'll make sure everybody on here understands that you need to come on out this Saturday. Pam, what's going on? University of British Columbia. Show you right. But please, everyone, come out on Saturday from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in Mount Moriah for the second official mayoral forum. Okay, the second official mayoral forum. There was one other forum that I personally don't believe was official, and then there was one where I got tricked into a conversation. And I'll put it out just like that. I'm not going to talk about who or how it happened, but if anybody asks me, I have no problem sharing it, but I'm not going to share it in this platform. So this is the second, the AKA's Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. They had the first official forum, and the second one will be this Saturday, Mount Moriah, from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And guess who's decided he's not going to come? Our beloved Mayor R. Keith Summey. Well, y'all need to be tagging him on social media. That's his page says Mayor Keith Summey. Go to his page. Don't inbox him. Send him a big, bold message. We want to see you at this forum. We the people. Been elected by we the people. Elected of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the people are saying come to the forum, and the mayor should not have an option, any elected official, unless there's some emergency condition. We got to give that type of thing. But it's just convenient that if this is an emergency condition, situation is pretty convenient that it just happened on the same day as this forum. No, he needs to be ready to come and answer to the questions of the people, to sit in front of the people. I'm going to be there, and that's for sure. And any questions that you got for me, I'm ready. You can holler at your boy right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, man, Joe. Pops would have been 79 today. Man, Joe Robinson Sr. Man, I miss that brother. We worked contract services at DuPont for a long time. And not just as the employees there. I actually was the contract supervisor out at DuPont. So when those who say that I don't have any kind of exposure, blah, 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 man, that's all that is a bunch of blah, blah, blah. Tell them you need to shut up and go ahead on somewhere. Man, Joe, I miss your dad, man, big time, for sure. But when it comes to these organizations, not only Cajun, I was one of the founding members of the Quality Education Project, a premier organization that's been fighting for quality public education with this school board for years now. Years. And the school board still ain't doing the right thing. And yes, the school board and the school district is outside of the mayor's legislative purview, but that's one heck of a bully pulpit. And for so many years, Pastor Dixon has been going up in the school board meetings to fight on behalf of our children and our parents. And they give me that 2 minutes, and then at the end of the 2 minutes, they sound the bell, and that's it. Have a nice seat. Have a seat, Pastor Dixon. Have a nice day. Well, I tell you what. After I win this election and the inauguration comes in January, and in between that time, when I walk up in the school board, because the mayor's going in the school board, just like Pastor Dixon did, but ain't nobody in there going to tell me you got 2 minutes to talk. Nobody. These are our children and their education that's at stake. Their education is or the lack of educating our children is what's putting them in the school or prison pipeline, what's setting our children up for failure and not giving them an access to the American dream. And that's going to change. The vision is set for an appointed time. In the end, it will speak and will not lie. Folks, collectively, we on the come up. I'm just going to tell you that just like that right now. But you got to vote me in. Not only with Quality Education Project, for 3 out of the last 5 years, I was the chairman of the Charleston Alliance for Fair Employment. That means I was leading the charge for fair wages in the Low Country, working along with the IAMAW, the aerospace workers, in trying to unionize Boeing, and up in MUSC, fighting for better conditions for the workers at MUSC. So when it comes to labor, I'm right there. It was one time that I thought like the ILA Union Hall was my second home. I was there so often. But I've worked along with the Fight for 15, all of them, AFL-CIO, you name it. I've been out here with them, out there on the strike lines, after dark, before sunup, trying to push for better labor and better working conditions. Met Reverend Barber several times. Not only that, because a lot of times when you look at the groups that I associate with, and not even the groups, the people that I associate with, it's multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious denomination or without denomination. And I've worked along with our LGBTQ community, with Jeff Ayers and SC Equality, with Chase Glenn and the Alliance for Full Acceptance. I've marched in the Pride Parade. Because for me, people are people. Okay? I'm not trying to make people into me. What I'm trying to do is make a better way for all people to live in the world that we live today. South Carolina Progressive Network, people, the list goes on and on and on. So when I talk about my qualifications, when you stop and you think about, well, why should I even support Pastor Dixon? I have this full resume of community service that's backed in community experience, human experience. Not a book knowledge, not something somebody told me about it. No, my understanding of our community, about how it works and doesn't work, about the things that will help our community along, it comes from first-hand knowledge. Been out on that block hustling 2, 3, 4 in the morning and chasing dope 2, 3 in the morning. Been to prison. Who better to advocate for prison reform than somebody that's been there? Who better understands the fact that possession of small quantities of weed have sent people up that road for far too long? And I have never met anybody that went in somebody's back window because they was jonesing for no weed. Never. Who better to work on the crime issue and the guns issue than somebody that has made the connections with these different organizations that are advocating for gun violence prevention? When it comes to the connections, I have the connections in all of these different areas. These people know me by first name or by pastor. Have their cell numbers. Can you understand? Most of the candidates that we see popping through here for their campaigns, I got their cell numbers because they came looking for that community representative when they got here. When it comes to the other 4 candidates that are on the slate right now, none of them is operating in that position. Why? Because none of them has the depth and the history of community engagement that I have. And apparently, now I'm going to go out on a limb and say this because I could be wrong. They don't have it because they just don't have the same heart that I have to make it right for my community. There's a couple of the candidates that's on the slate that I like, actually, and I do believe that given enough time and enough community engagement, then they will do the right thing. But right now, there's only one candidate who has a proven track record of service for our community. And you're looking at him, Pastor Thomas Dixon. If you don't believe me, Google me. Read my website. You'll know for sure that I'm not talking about it. I'm being about it. And that's why I'm asking for your support. That's why I'm asking for your vote. That's why I'm asking in between now and the election, please hit me up. My website, www.dixonformayor.com, and volunteer. I got plenty of work that can be done. And somebody will be in touch with you very soon. Plenty of work. Because it's not going to be easy. I know right now we got folks out here that's lying on me and carrying on. God will judge them, for sure. And them same people be talking about that scripture, say, touch not my anointed, neither do my prophet no harm. Better watch what they're doing. But no matter which way it goes, And I'll tell you this the same way I said it in 2016. Although I'm expecting a favorable outcome in this election, win, place, or show, I'm still going to be your go-to guy in the community. I don't care who takes that seat. When you need something, you know exactly who to call. You take the 5 candidates right now that's running for mayor of North Charleston, and you get in some trouble, I wonder who you going to call. I know one thing. I think I'm the only one got a public telephone number on social media, on all of my pages. But that's the real about it. That's the real. So I'm not going to continue to roll on this topic here. I need to talk again the next time about the vision, okay, what things are going to look like, because I guarantee you, if you get out there and vote for me and get others to go on and vote for me, within 1.5 years to 2 years time, you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, we didn't know we could have it this good. People getting paid, our children are getting educated, ain't nobody get killed yesterday, and I can afford to live in my city without being forced out. These are just some things. And I wanted to say in closing that I believe in a rainbow coalition. Not necessarily the organization, Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition, but I believe that all ethnicities and races and colors and creeds is what it takes in order to make this place work, to make it work right. And I will fight for everyone in the same manner without discrimination. And if you look at the pictures of me in the community, look at the picture that's been posted on my pages regularly about the day that I announced that I was going to run for office. And look at the diversity that's represented in that picture. People from all walks of life, all different colors, all come together to say Dixon for mayor is the right choice. The right choice. Not a politically correct choice. Not because it's a homeboy or somebody that was born in the neighborhood. No. But the right choice. Somebody you know beyond a shadow of a doubt and has the record to prove it will work on your behalf. So the next time that we get together, I'll send out some notices. Thank you everyone who got on tonight. I really appreciate you all, more than you know. But we got work to do in order to win this election. And we can win this election. We just need to get out and vote. Make sure folks are getting registered. 8 days left. Get registered. And then go vote. Because registering does not translate into voting. In the last election, we had 54,000 registered voters and only 12,000 voted. That's ridiculous, people. And if we have a repeat of that, Mayor Summey's going to be back in office for another 4 years. And the south end of North Charleston will be transformed in the same way that the city of Charleston was transformed. 40 years under Mayor Riley, Charleston went from 75% African American to 75% white. And if we don't do something now in North Charleston, like elect myself mayor of North Charleston, the same thing is going to happen to us. And the casualties along the way, the collateral damage, our children, our families, our homes, our schools, those are all collateral damage to the powers that be. They don't care, as Michael Jackson says, they don't really care about us. So, for tonight, I'm going to call it an end to it. I think we've been going long enough. And just stay tuned. I'll put the word out again. Next time I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other things. I think gentrification, Papa Smurf, is one of the things that'll be on the list for accessible housing is on the list of things we're going to talk about at the mayoral forum on Saturday, right along with policing and there was another transit because Best Friends of Low Country Transit will be there also. So please. Don't just sit at home all Saturday afternoon and then stop and say, man, I should have went over there. No. We need to fill up the Life Center at Mount Moriah with concerned citizens. And when I say concerned citizens, and I love all of y'all, I'll be darned if I want to sit in that at the platform in my chair and look out over an audience that does not look like me too. Okay, we need to be representing, get involved. And the last thing in closing, just think this message that I'm delivering to you now, a message encouraging you to get involved, to be empowered in this system. That's the same message that you're going to hear from the mayor's office once I'm elected. A message that we've never in our community heard from the current mayor for 25 years. Y'all take care. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Pray for me as I pray for you. And y'all take care. Peace out.